Hi Virgo, welcome back for your mid-month read. This is for general and love. I also have other videos during the month as well as I will come to you live. I'm hoping the lighting isn't too bad. It's been horrendous lighting today. Now, I have pulled the cards ahead of time. If you're wanting a booking, the link is directly below, as well as any other videos that I feel are relevant will be in the link above. For those of you who don't know, I'm a psychic medium as well as a twin flame, and yes, I'm a union. I do coach twin flames, so if you are needing a booking, click the link and I'll see you on the other side. Now, like I said, I pulled the cards ahead of time and I just started laughing, and I don't know why, but I'm feeling it's interesting because the nodes in Cancer with Mars, the planet of war, it's funny because it is a heavy energy and there can be issues denoting, connecting in with childhood wounds, feminines, female energies. But for some reason, it's really interesting. I just started smiling and I feel that comedy is the key. And I don't know why, but I think you might be tackling some of these situations with comedy because I keep smiling. It feels very strange. People that aren't shining, you're going to be showing them the way. It does feel as though, no, it's not a bed of roses, but you're using comedy to handle it. You might be trying a different tactic, although I feel this could potentially be your disposition. It's like when you're down, everyone's up. And then when you're up, everyone's down. You're like, Houston, I think we have a problem. You're being playful, and it could be towards love interests. It could be towards people that are sensitive. You're having the compassion and understanding. It does feel like a bed, and you're like, geez, seriously, when I'm down, nobody's there for me. And it can just be a metaphor. Yet when I'm up, I'm pulling everybody back up with me. So it feels like this oxymoron and a roller coaster ride. In the past, yes, there were troubles, and you've definitely learned from them. And this could be past tenses in this month, or really with the nodes being in Cancer, denoting to families and connections and wounds and paradigms. It's just in general of the path you've moved away from. Now it's moving away, but you're looking back. You're looking back into the past, and you're thinking, gee, I have been through an awful lot, but gee, I have a lot to give. And I'd not want to go back there. So a lot of people can potentially be going through similar things to what you went through, and you're able to then vibrationally support them, although you'd prefer not to. Some of these lessons you are utilizing comedy to handle. You also know that nothing lasts forever as well. So you have detached from the paradigm of everything's going to stay the same. Nothing is staying the same. This is moving through you at the moment. So if you feel energetically stuck and you're not aware of it, no, nothing stays the same. If you look back on your path away from the ego experience, and I have mentioned this in every video, so there is obviously this month a lot of ego coming through. When we are processing, we're healing. We go into the third eye. We think back, and there's 7 stages of healing. Potentially, I do feel if you can do that, it is an infinity number, and it is sort of like Sagittarius and Saturn. There can be some potential endings coming, and nothing lasts forever, but you also know everything happens for a reason. So if you detach from what's happening and understand everything does happen for a reason, I feel you will cope fine. Moving forward, anything in an assessment state that you haven't dealt with will show you where, with the retrograde cycle and in families and in connections and our foundation, what's not working. Now, if you fall into the karmic cycle of not letting go of things that need to go, it's going to cause you conflict, and you may feel you got bad luck. If you understand that everything happens for a reason and you trust in the process and work with it, it's going to work for you, and you will come through 360. I do feel you're using comedy to handle it, and be careful with vehicles. I'm not predicting anything. I just mean anything that you're guided to do in a sense of change things. This could be your forward movement with Mercury. A lot of us are like, okay, we want to move forward, but hey, why do we keep getting these purges? Why do we keep getting these spiritual blocks? A lot of times when we're manifesting, it's because we're going through the 7 stages of healing. So the ego mind, or the third eye tuning into what happened in the past, is keeping you energetically there. Once the detachment comes, a bit like when we're sick, we detach and we get better in due course generally. It's outside of our control. I feel if you trust in that process, this will turn upright, okay? Some of it is not destined to happen. Some of it is, but allowing cycles to end in order to bring the better out of it. What is bringing you crap, let it go, you know. And when I'm saying that, I'm feeling if there is a situation that you're still working on that you know is out of alignment, and you are meditating upon, do I stay, do I go, really have an assessment of that, of whether it's worth your effort and your time. In your employment sector, but this can be anything that you're working on, you could feel you have a lot of competition. You also could feel as though you've worked extremely hard or wishing to return to work. There could be situations that you feel a bit overwhelmed by. There could also be a third-party energy that is manipulating the situation, or there's competition in applying for jobs, and it's causing a little bit of conflict. What will work for you is if you're tuning into actually opening a business, do such, because I actually see this to be coming through as a boss figure. There's also, if you have contacts with bosses and you are working, don't feel threatened. Continue through the adversity, because I do actually feel this person actually has an eye on you in a positive sense, not a negative. So try and disconnect from any old thought processes you have, but follow your gut. But I do hear that for some of you, you will be considering business ventures and going solo. What will block you is the financial aspect. Again, the ego connected to what we deem as financial abundance. If we're passionate about something, it's going to flourish because we're going to put our back into it. If we're in a location or working on things that don't serve us emotionally, vibrationally, physically, the fortune will lack. Some of you are waiting for the finances to be better, or some of you are considering moving, shifting jobs, or even investing differently or managing your budget. Now, I have pulled cards for work, money, and family. That is the work domain and anything you're directly working on. And I've also pulled for love and what each person is feeling. Now, in your financial sector, again, remember I said follow your gut instincts. Really follow your gut instincts. And I feel around the moon, the next moon phase, in between the full moon and in between the new moon rather and the full moon, there is a lot of clarity coming through, and again, feminine energies. With the nodes being in Cancer, it is connecting to feminine. It's connected to emotions, water, family, your money. You need to tune into what you feel you should do with it. And if you're guided to manifest something or release something from the past in a sense of a wound, correlating with the energies of finances and what self-worth is, because abundance is correlating with self-worth, try and put some water out in the garden in a bottle during the new moon and full moon. And that's any month, okay? It will activate it, and it will help with the purge, and it will help with the manifestation. You can also charge your crystals during that time and have conversations of the full moon to detach from old ways. What is working with you is your faith, your belief in yourself. Providing you keep working on that, you are going to reach the next level. What could potentially be hindering you is your belief of work and finances. It could, again, I am feeling as though your head is in two ways. You're like, okay, do I have to stay here because of the finances? Oh, but I don't love it. Oh, but I want to do something that's abundant, but I want the abundance to come in. There's a method to the madness, but you need to hone in on what brings you passion. And when you hone in on that and you gain the clarity, I feel your financial abundance will start coming in. But if you're tuning into lack, oh my gosh, how am I going to pay the bill? Give it to source. Oh my gosh, when is this money coming in? Where is the food coming from? Give it to source, but follow suit of what you need to do. And the more you retrain your brain, the more like will attract like. I'm really sorry for the lighting. Family. Okay, there could be a lot of ego going through. And again, with the nodes being in Cancer, with Mars energy coming through, there can be crosswords. So I have warned people about that. Be super careful. Try not to take it personal, but anything that does come up is necessary to come up. What will be working for you is coming in a higher frequency and understanding they're not your enemy. They have a way of seeing things. They have a way of experiencing things. And with Chiron being in the first house of Aries, all of us collectively, when we deal with our wounds, and it will be connecting in with family this month, especially moving into July. And I did say profound time of change was happening around June, July, major shifts. We're then moving into the Lionsgate portal of manifestation. So anything we've been working on is coming up to a size and end where we're reaching a point where we're going to be making major assessments. Now, it may be that something hasn't come to fruition, or people haven't been doing the work, but they're getting triggered and they're projecting towards you. Keep being your true self. No matter who you are, what you are, how you are, each day we are a new version of ourselves. Just come the way you are. If a trigger point comes up, it's meant to happen. Trust in the process. What is blocking you from that situation is crosswise and miscommunication. So understand that, you know, sometimes when we're triggered, we say things, and we even say, in wine there is truth, in vino veritas, if that's how it's pronounced. At the same time, with a purge, we can only purge and communicate from our own perspective. It doesn't mean it's correct. It's just a perspective. So try not to absorb another's perspective. If it does trigger you, it's something innately within you and it needed to come out to be released. So trust in the process. If you do feel people around you, especially if you're in a relationship, aren't doing the work, you need to communicate it, but communicate it effectively. Yeah, again, family. Lack thereof, or people feeling you have more or they have more. Perspectives being different. Some of you, it can be connected to inheritance, but this is very, very past tense. I don't feel it's current. This is, again, it's really far back. It's down back to childhood, so it's not connecting in with the relevant of now, although it's coming up in the here and now. Trying to stay there so the light hits me. Now, in love, in the past, there was movement, okay? And you did have to tackle things in a particular manner. You did all you could to move the situation forward. And again, a lot of what you have done and a lot of what has occurred, regardless of whether you're in communication or you're not, who this person is you're tuning into, you were going through an aspect of a transformation, a spiritual transformation. So you were guided to do what happened. You know, you addressed it in the ways you felt fit. A lot of us, when we go through an awakening, when we do come to the consciousness, we do tend to come to a place within connections and the way we project. We have the self-awareness, so we get cross at perhaps some of the power we realized we had after the fact. But it's no good actually being cross after the fact. It's an epiphany. Acknowledge it's such, but realize everything does happen for a reason. Presently, you could be meditating upon various ways this could go. Various ways you could take this connection, various ways this connection could come towards you. There also could be other offers. But you're also trying to choose the right way to do things. And again, with 7 coming through, at the heart of the reading of where it stands right now is, look at the options that are coming through. Understand that some of you may be on a spiritual path and that some of these things won't go, okay? Because you are on a spiritual path. So this could be a deep soulmate twin flame read, although I am doing reads separate for those, and I do the psychic downloads live so you guys can interact and ask questions after the session and during. The letting go is to reach union. It comes from self, but it's also about choosing each day what is correct for you. Each way of looking at this situation, it's a new version of the story. When we're processing, again, I'll say ego, third eye, tuning into the things that happened in the past, finding compassion for ourselves for what happened in the past, or finding closure about what happened in the past is part of the awakening and moving into the third eye and the crown chakra. When it comes to the 7 of Cups, it's like through the seasons of time and where you are now, you might be romanticizing situations. You may actually be manifesting situations. Sometimes, you know, and when we say manifestation, it's what we're directly tuning into, we attract. But if it's distorted and we're thinking of various ways it can come, it pauses it because we're in reflection. Let go of the reflection. Make the assessment, do the reflection, right? Then detach, let go, and know that universe is bringing it to you. Moving into the future, you may be focused on only the things that take you higher. Now, if you haven't healed your pain connected to work, it's coming up. The work can be internal, the work can be financial. It's head and heart is coming through. I'm sensing as though your self-esteem or the others is correlating to a vibration of, I need to look a certain way in order to have this connection. It's a paradigm. We're breaking those things down. Cosmic connection. Part of the awakening. We detach from jobs through the spiritual awakening. We detach from friends. And there's a lot of detachment going on this month. So yes, we've done that over the path, but there's more coming. Because the new chapters of what's coming in, moving into July onwards, is very much correlating to this energy. Now, the stagnation that you're directly experiencing is temporary because you're meditating. What is working for you on an internal is making space and purging. External, what isn't working for you is believing you're trapped. By doing the internal work during the stagnation, it won't last forever. It's making room inside to create that abundance and to attract the connection to a healthy vibration. Energetically, they look at you as, you know, the one. You may not know that. That's how they feel. Regardless of their actions, reactions, they feel you're the one. Internally, they're healing. And you too. You're making room. Externally to them, they have matured. Now, when it does come to a karmic, if this is a masculine we're tuning into, they feel that you are the mature version of what they want. And it is them tuning in directly to you, not another person. I do feel energetically they're looking for something that's going to go the distance, okay? You also are pausing to assess whether they are. Both of you are doing a similar thing. One person is in truth, the other is doing the internal. So one's at the 3D, one's at the 5D, one's at the, and both will swap to do the same, okay? But both of you are going through a transformation to bring this into alignment. But there are family-related dynamics and belief systems correlating with finances, self-worth, and money. Love and light.